Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Cornbread Trucker here. Kind of wanted to do a video. I had somebody comment on a previous video, and the driver, and I'm not saying that Prime doesn't have maybe an algorithm in the computer system that kind of tries to level out the pay from driver to driver, so somebody doesn't make so much more money than another driver. He had kind of made a comment about that, and saying that sometimes they'll kind of hold you up, delay you, so that you don't make so much money that week. And I'll be honest, I don't have a good answer for that. I mean, I can't say that they don't have an algorithm built into the computer system, but I kind of look at it, you know, and I've got history, you know, from back when I was a young kid, even with my dad owning trucks and running, and then when I drove 20 years ago for 6 or 7 years, the company, and then while I'm here at Prime, and basically, you know, now I'm a lease operator, and you know, we get 73% of the load cost. You know, I don't get paid by the mile, and you know, it just seems to me like, you know, Prime gets the other percent of that, you know, and I mean, they're in this game to make money. And so I don't really see that. I think it really boils down to you're in an area, and sometimes I think planning probably does a pretty good job. Sometimes they probably do better than others. But you know, I don't know how much advanced planning they do. And so sometimes you may have, they're just trying to get loads covered. They got contracts, and sometimes, you know, they may be expecting, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 loads to come out of one area, but some of those don't get finalized until the day of. And so, and some of those loads that they had maybe been planning on getting out of that area that they normally would get, some of it being the economy the way it is, maybe those loads don't happen. The customer doesn't need as much product, and so loads get canceled. And so now you've got, you know, if you had 30 loads, maybe you had 30 trucks up in that area, and now you only need 25 trucks. Or it could be the case where, you know, they don't get enough trucks because, you know, one driver decided to quit, and, you know, 2 other trucks broke down on their way into that area, or who knows, somebody decided to go home. And so now they don't have enough trucks to cover the loads in one area, and so maybe they have to bring somebody further. And I think another part of that plays into this is some fleet managers don't really put a pre-plan on you, and you get in line whenever you hit your depart from your receiver, and you hit the depart, and now you're in line to get a load. And they dispatch the loads by who was in line first. I don't know that they have any one algorithm, because I think if that was the case, you know, sometimes they're going to have to run trucks, and we see it happen. We see trucks move across sometimes half the country right now just to get loads. But if you're there and you're in line, I don't think they're going to bring a truck halfway across the country or whatever just because they're worried you're going to make, you know, more money that week. I mean, it just does not I just don't see it. I mean, they want to make money too, and I don't think they really care whether it's this driver or that driver, just as long as they're making money. And sometimes customers, there's appointments and things of that nature, and running a truck across the country, or 300 miles, 400 miles, or whatever, just to go pick up a load because the driver that's there in that area is going to make more money than they want them to that week. That just, to me, doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it's not happening. I get the theory behind it, that they don't want drivers feeling that some drivers are making a lot more money than they are, and so then they get upset and leave. And so I'm not saying that there's not some kind of algorithm that's built into the computer, because I guarantee you the fleet managers are busy enough that they're not going to sit there and go through the numbers to find out what what your estimated pay is going to be and decide whether they need to hold you up or not. Planning, I'm sure they're pretty busy too. So if it's there, if that's happening, it's got to be an algorithm in the computer that kind of estimates that pay. And I'll just be honest with you, and I don't think that's what's happening. I really think it's just what loads they have in the area. I mean, that's trucking, and not everything's perfect. The stars do not align very often in this industry. Logistics is a tough world. There's a lot of moving parts that goes into this, and I think it's just where you're at in the line at the time that you're getting unloaded. And there are times that they may have a load. Sometimes your dispatcher your fleet manager will see a good paying load that in an area where you're going to be, and he'll go ahead and grab it and get you locked onto it. But it just, the stars just don't always align. So I hope maybe that's just my thoughts, my opinion on it. And I'm not saying anybody's wrong because they think that, or believe, or maybe they even have proof. And I've got an open mind. I can listen to what you have to say, and I'd be glad to see any evidence that you have that proves that that's what's going on. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at on it. So if you have any questions on that, or if you have any comments, just feel free to post them. I'll be glad to look at them and and discuss some of it further. Sometimes things ain't worth discussing, but I'm definitely open-minded to a lot of this. So all right, I'm out. I'm gonna be getting around, going to bed here pretty quick. So you guys have a good evening, and we'll see you on the next one.